Greetings, family, and welcome to another episode of Cultivate Life. We are here with Brother Mikey for part 2 of our sprouting video. So remember to share the link and sit back, relax, and check out what we have in part 2. Let's see the results of what we did with our sprouting, right?
Absolutely.
All right, so we'll be right back after this. All right, and we're back. So it's been a week since we've seen each other, right?
Yes.
And we did our sprouting. You did your individual jars, and I did mine. And now we're here to tell the people the results.
Absolutely.
So, how was your experience with the sprouting?
As I was saying in the previous video, I had trouble with the garbanzo beans, and I had a little trouble with the green peas because if you don't give enough time to it,
Right.
because it was on the end of the week, so you're doing things, and sometimes they stay a little bit long, so they kind of spoil. So mine's did on those two things, but the other two were good.
Two survived, yeah. My garbanzo beans didn't survive, rest in peace.
Absolutely.
After I drained them and left them in the cupboard, I think what I did, I left them a little bit too long. I forgot them there, and I was like, oh my God. And then that's when I took them out, and they started kind of like smelling a little bit funky, but I was like, oh, it's okay. They haven't sprouted yet. So I just rinsed them, but then by the second time I had them up there, it didn't go too well. But even though we had those, failures, so to speak, right? You actually went back and you were able to sprout some of, and that was just in a short period of time.
Short period of time. I think I started on, I believe, Saturday night.
Right.
I soaked some for a day and a half, and then I did a little trick. I took the garbanzo beans, I left them in the fridge for about a few hours to kind of get them real cold.
Okay.
And then I decided to put them away.
Oh.
Yes, because I was just trying a little experiment, and it seemed to help.
Right.
Because now we have some today that we can show, a
little
little
sprout.
bit.
So we have some in a cup. I put them in a nice little wine glass so you guys can see. And let me tilt down the screen. You can see the little sprouts on the garbanzo beans there. And so that was awesome because I was like, oh no,
you wouldn't be able to show anything if I didn't. I had to try and see if I could, regenerate something else so that we could have something to show.
Of course. Yeah. And then as far as the other beans go, this is the lentils that I did. Try to get a good visual. And what is very interesting is how dense it is. And this is the mung beans. You guys can see. And then I have the green peas. I'm just going to reach over here. And you guys can see that. And actually, we've been eating them. So now they're down to here. But what happened was, especially with the mung beans, it kept like overflowing, and then we had to keep like taking them out. And these sprouted rather quickly.
Yes, they do. They do that. I find that yes, the mung beans sprout pretty quickly, and the lentils generally. You will find that the green peas are a little bit longer.
Yeah.
And
my lentils took the longest to sprout.
They did?
My green peas, my mung beans sprouted like the first day.
Oh yeah.
Like even before I drained the water, they already were sprouting. Okay. The lentils, not the lentils, the green peas, after I did the draining process, that's when I saw sprouts. As soon as I put them up in the cupboard, I took it down the next day, there were sprouts. The lentils needed that extra day. Okay. So I just don't know, the differences in those, but
you see how it is, because I mean, like for me, at where I was doing it, I could definitely see that the lentils were shooting a little bit. I could see that the mung beans, because I actually did the mung and the lentil in the same jar because I only had 3 jars, so I combined them because I know that they kind of roughly
go
work the same
together.
way, right? And then, as we know, the other ones were really struggling. They
Right.
weren't doing anything at all, and was spoiling.
Right.
But you had different results.
I did.
And also you were having trouble.
Yeah, I was. So with what I mean, you guys can just see how dense this is, especially with this one, because I haven't eaten as much as this one is yet. But you could see how dense it is because they just kind of all, like you said, came together and like intertwined. So I had a hard time getting them out. And with the mung beans, I was just like, oh my God, like how I was kind of scared to put them up in the cupboard the second day.
Got you.
Because I probably had about a cup of mung beans that I like. Actually, probably more than that, because I ate a cup, and then my cousin came and he had some.
Oh, okay.
When we were washing them. So, that probably a cup and a half that we ate before the whole process was done, just because I couldn't get them back into the jar.
Right, because you said they were overpowering the jar, which will happen, because once you do them, several times, you'll find the measurement, that is good and appropriate to grow, to the edge. Yes, and throwing them out is always going to be a challenge.
Yeah.
Yes,
well, what I did the second time, because that was the mung beans was the first time I threw them out. The second time I was like, I'm not even going to throw them out. I just kind of rinsed them with the cheesecloth on it.
Okay.
And I just like really kind of like was shaking it up and down, shaking it, and it loosens it. And then I just kept draining them. Because after the first time I couldn't get them back, and I was like, I'm not doing this again. It took me a while to get them back in. It was like a big mess, and I was like, oh my God, I'm losing half of these things here. But it was fun.
Yes, and in general, what would you say was your favorite? Your favorite one.
In terms of taste, oh my gosh,
yeah.
I love the mung beans. The mung beans to me are my favorite. My second favorite is the green peas. I just kind of like that fresh, like green flavor. The lentils, I like. I mean, I like all of them, but this is like in the order. Yeah.
Yes.
The lentils, I like, but I found that with the lentils, I was doing things like seasoning with them, like adding, because it still has that lentil. It's like it's like that hardiness. The lentils are more hardy, so it has a heartier flavor, while the mung beans and the green beans have like that fresher,
like an earthy,
earthy type of so with the lentils, I found that like I would kind of like season it a little bit, put some turmeric and different things on it, and I would have that like that. So of course I didn't have the garbanzo beans, so I haven't done didn't try that, but I just was eating the mung beans. I was just eating like a snack, like
Absolutely, and I'm glad that you mentioned snack, because a lot of these you can actually just put them in a bag, take them with you, and make sure you have them maybe in like a lunch pan with some ice or something so that they keep fresh or something.
Right.
But you can use them rather than actually even buying nuts, because these are a lot less expensive.
Yeah. I'm sure there's more nutrient dense because they're living.
Exactly.
They're growing.
Exactly, and you can use them. I do it. Sometimes, not all the times, because I do have nuts too. But at the same time, I do incorporate them when I need to have them, and it's a great snack to have.
It is, and what I liked about it too was really versatile. Like, and this wasn't a raw food application, but we had some, just leftover rice for dinner, and the children needed lunch the next day. And I hadn't gone shopping yet, so I was like, okay, what can I add to the rice? And so I just warmed up the rice, and then I just added the the
mix
beans and
them
I
up.
just mixed them together,
Yeah.
and the children really enjoyed it.
Mhm.
They were like, "Do you have more rice? Do you have more?" At first, they were like, "Where are these things?"
True.
But after, I was like,
Mhm.
"Taste it, try it," and then they enjoyed it. And then with the rice, what I did was I seasoned the lentils in
Mhm.
the rice, and I left the other two fresh. So when I was done, warming up the rice with the lentils, and I added the other two on top to give it the dual flavors, like that earthiness
Exactly.
and the seasoned with the fresh. So that was
Exactly.
cool.
Exactly. So again, it's just really sharing, some of these things that we can incorporate into our living,
Of course,
and
of course.
you know, adding a little bit of a level, to what we are, what we're doing and
Of
what we're
course,
partaking in.
definitely,
Yes.
definitely. So,
Yes.
I made a little video for the people just so they can see
Okay.
the process
Mhm.
and how that looks. So we're gonna go to that now. I'm gonna make it full screen,
Okay.
and so this is like the first day. That was when that was after you left actually when we
Mhm.
soaked it, and then this was the 24 hours, right?
Mhm.
And what was amazing, because this was the same day that we recorded this video, what was
Okay.
amazing here was how much they doubled in size
Absolutely.
already. Like we recorded the video like 4, 5 in the afternoon, and by 9 o'clock that was the result.
They blew up.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So that was interesting to me, just seeing. That was after 48 hours. I still had my chickpeas going here. And like the mung beans, they start. Oh, what was interesting with the mung beans is they started
Shelling.
shelling,
Yes.
and the green peas, and I was like, oh, that's cool. And I was eating the green peas shells because so many of those came off.
Yes.
So I was like, oh, let me try these.
Mhm.
That was super bitter.
Mhm.
That was really bitter, and I was like, oh wow. But then the peas were sweet.
Yes.
So it's sort of like nature was like discarding what it really didn't want. It was like, oh, we don't need this part.
Gotcha. Yeah, sunflower seeds are like that too.
Okay.
When you put them in the water, you start seeing the outside of them doing the same thing that you're saying.
Okay.
The
Yeah.
greens are doing.
So
Yes.
that was, and then like I don't know if you guys can see in the green beans were starting to sprout too. That was like after 48 hours of soaking.
Mhm.
And then the next slide should show, yeah, that was the draining process. So this is a little bit, this is when, oh, I didn't mean to go to the results already, but this was, let's go back to the draining. It was a little bit cumbersome for me. This is when, as you can see, the mung bean jar, it
Mhm.
was super full. And I was like trying to get them back in. And the lentils, oh my God, trying to get those back in. Because like what I did was I put them in my colander
Mhm.
and I was washing them and washing and washing them. And then I was using like a cup to try to get them. It was a huge mess. That's when after that I was like, I'm not going to take them out anymore.
But the thing is, when you continue to do it,
Yeah.
you will find your methods. You
Yeah.
will find your methods, that resonate, with you,
Right.
on how you would like to do it.
Right.
Yes.
Right.
Mhm.
And then now we can go to the end result.
Mhm.
Right. So, and that's your garbanzo beans right there,
Mhm.
the lentils, the mung beans. And that was just after 4 days.
Absolutely.
So that was, to me, that was really quick. That
Mhm.
was, it was just like a really awesome experience
Mhm.
to just have that experience. So what's
And what did the children say? Like when did they see it?
they did see
when the
it.
jars and
First, they
stuff?
thought they were like, "What are you
Mhm.
growing?"
Mhm.
So they automatically thought that we were growing this to like go outside and to
Mhm.
plant. We've been
Oh,
doing
okay.
different agricultural projects, and I said,
Mhm.
"No, we're making sprouts to eat." And then they didn't pay attention. They were like, "Oh, okay." And they asked me, and I told them which ones were the different ones. But then when I made the rice, they were like, "Oh, that's what that was."
Okay.
And they were just like, "Oh, okay, this tastes good." But that was kind of
Very good. Very good.
it.
Because once they're in the process,
Yeah.
they'll be able to
Yeah.
to grasp it.
But my
Yeah.
daughter did do a good job of reminding me
Mhm.
because sometimes I forgot.
Oh,
And I was like,
okay.
"Oh, remind me that I have to wash the sprouts." And she was like, Mom, wash your sprouts, wash your sprouts, wash your sprouts.
All right.
So she did good with
Mhm.
reminding me to do that.
That's a beautiful thing. Yeah. Yeah.
So,
Mhm.
which one is your favorite?
My favorite is the lentils.
Yeah,
Yeah. I just like the taste of them.
yeah,
And I can, as I said, I can just bring them in a bag, just have them there and just,
to snack
just
on
chomp on
them.
them.
Yeah,
And I do like the garbanzos too.
yeah,
The garbanzos for more than one reason. One, they do taste good sprouted, and you can also make like a cheese element out of them. But that's a little bit of another thing.
That's for another
Right?
time.
That's another thing.
That
So
sounds interesting.
that's something that I've experimented with, and you can transform them into a cheese element where you can use them as a spread.
Nice.
But that would be a little bit more involved.
Okay.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay. Well, we're gonna have to, check that out one day or document
Yes.
that or something. So.
Yeah, because it really has a really good taste. Once you use your processor, processing them together and add just a couple of very simple ingredients, And one thing with the raw food element is that the longer it sits, the better it tastes.
Yeah.
It might sound a little crazy, but it is.
I'm glad you mentioned that because that was kind of my fear of how long these would keep. But like I said, when did we film the video? That was like Wednesday.
Yeah, I think it was last. Yeah,
so these were done by Sunday, and today's Thursday now, and they're still like really fresh. And I've just been, like I said, adding them to. Here I got like a bowl of salad here. So I've just been adding them to, my salads. Or like I said, like doing that whole stir fry type of thing, or just making different. And they're still like really fresh,
exactly,
really crunchy. I'm gonna eat one right now. I love the mung beans. They're so good.
Let me grab one too.
Yeah. I want to try the garbanzo bean because I haven't tried that one yet. It's very nutty.
Yes, it's very nutty. As I said in the previous video, what I like with them, you can use coconut milk. But coconut milk from the coconut itself. You juice it out. Either, with a champion, I think I mentioned, where you can separate the cream and the juice.
Yeah.
Or you can take the frames of the coconut. You can put them in a blender, or you can scoop out a coconut, a dry coconut, cut it up small, put it in a blender, strain the milk out, and then add it to the sprouts and season it. And they really taste good in that combination. Yes.
That's good. Yeah. That's good. Yeah, I could see how. Well, with what you're saying with the coconut, because it has that nutty, and then with the cheese too.
Yes.
Because it has that really pungent, like nutty. Especially, it's very different from the cooked.
Yes.
Yeah, garbanzo beans.
And especially when they start to. This is why if we talk about it, we got to talk about it a little bit more in depth, because the way you get the cheese element is because it's starting to kind of ferment a little bit.
Oh, okay.
So it's starting to per se rot, but it's not rotting where you can't digest it or take it in.
Yeah.
But it's
I like
something
ferment.
ferment.
Well, I don't know, but that's what they do with regular cheese. The milk has to sour and things have to happen in order for you to make cheese. So it's just like, and then I don't know, I never made nut cheese before, but I think there's certain processes to get certain flavors from the nut cheese. This is just like a bean.
Like using cheese, the bean, or you can use cashews, with other things to kind of make it ferment a little bit.
Nice.
And give you that kind of cheesy taste.
Yeah.
It's not going to be like cheese now, but
right. Well, I think I'm going to try this again, and then if it does start to have that, I'll call you and you can walk me through the steps. So.
Yeah. You have you have a processor
Yeah.
or a blender or something.
Yeah, I do.
Yes. So yeah.
So that's
So
going to
this
be
is it.
interesting.
Yeah.
So I just
Yeah.
want you guys to see too, because it yields so much. And when we started, what would we use, like half a cup? It wasn't
I think
even.
it was, if we
It was
show
like
the
up to
jar,
here,
it
yeah.
was only about that much.
Right.
But it
And
does
we've
yield.
already ate some.
Yes.
And then, like, this is just how dense they are. You can kind of see it a little bit better because they're in these individual cups. That's the lentils. Just how dense it is. Try to get it in the camera here. And so that's like a nice little serving if you're adding it to other things.
Absolutely.
Because
to a salad, it will add the crunch element.
Yeah.
Crunch element to it. So if you like to chew something,
right.
and be masticating it, then this will help with that. Yeah.
Right. Because I love it. I love the crunch that it's added to the salads, and it's just got it like a different flavor profile.
Exactly.
So that's really cool. So then also we have some other applications within that I found online. So these are not my recipes or ideas, but I thought these were really neat to do with the sprouts. I want to share that. Exactly. So now that we have our sprouts, right, we are going to check out these applications that you can do with it. So this is an Asian sprouted lentil salad, and I got this from eatcooklive.com. And that was using the lentil sprouts and some sesame seeds, and I think they had regular bean sprouts.
Okay.
Like just different Asian flavors to make that. So that looks yummy. So I'm gonna try that.
Absolutely, and it's living.
It is.
It's living.
It is. And that's important. It's the most important thing, feeding your body live foods. And then I found this next one. Sprouted lentil sun-dried tomato flatbread, and I got this from PAMPLEMOUSSE, and that's the website right there. And they actually blended the lentils with the sun-dried tomatoes and some other seeds, I believe.
Yeah, I have a feeling I'm just guessing, but there's probably some flax seeds.
Yeah.
That holds, binds it together. Yeah.
And then they put it in the dehydrator. So if you have a dehydrator, or even your regular oven, you set it at, was it 110 to 115?
Yes. What I found with the ovens is that unless it's probably I could be wrong, but maybe like a toaster oven or something. I don't know if they go down low enough, but I found with the house ovens, they don't go below, I think, unless I'm wrong, but maybe like 200 degrees. So a dehydrator is more, it's better. Or again, if you have enough sunlight, that would be penetrating on it in a clean environment. It'll probably take longer because the sun is not going to be as intense, because it's not as closely down on it. But
that's something to try. That looks good too. So I was like, ooh, look at all these things that I can do. And there was a lot for like the lentils I found. So this one's a sprouted mung bean salad. And I got this one from foodpleasureandhealth.com. So that looks good because I love the mung beans. So I was like, I'm going to definitely try that one.
Absolutely.
And then I had a couple more on here. This was the lentil burger. And I think you talked about this last time.
Yes.
Where you said that you can make from the sprouted lentils.
Definitely. And I think even if you go to like Whole Foods, they do sell, I believe in the refrigerator, they have like sprouted burgers in there. So again, these are the things that we can do on our own. Because we don't even need to really, like let out the money.
I know, shell out these dollars. Because, people are like, oh, when you go vegan, it's so expensive and stuff. But, you can make these and recreate these things at home for a fraction of the cost. So that's cool. So,
and then, the family can join.
Yeah.
So it's like a way of bringing everybody in and creating something
Right.
because raw foods to me,
Mm-hmm.
because people look at the greens and stuff and say that we
Right.
can't do much with
Exactly.
it, but
Exactly.
it is a creative energy.
No, it is. It is. It's very creative.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. This one is.
Oh, that's the sprouted green pea curry, and that was very interesting too. Because like, I found a lot of recipes that had the Asiatic flavors or like the Indian flavors, so that was cool too. If you like those type of flavors, I do. So that was that one. And then this was another one, a sprouted chickpea mango curry.
That looks really nice.
Yeah. So, and this reminded me of like, you know, how we do like chutneys and stuff in the Caribbean.
Exactly.
So it's like, you know, now you have the sprouted chickpea mango curry. So that's great. So those are awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that was.
We can create all of those things.
Definitely.
And you know, even add levels to it because everybody's got, you know, their own flavor, their own, you know, how they like to, you know, taste their food and stuff like that. So, you know, and even share amongst each other.
Of course.
You know, this is what I came up with today. You know,
try it out.
Pass it on. Yeah.
Exactly. So there you have it. This doesn't have to be expensive. You know, living healthy, living raw.
Raw food.
Raw food. You know, and it's super simple. I thought because the first time I did this, it was honestly intimidating for me. That's why I called you. I was like, oh no, what did I do? But I tried to sprout the garbanzo beans and chickpeas, and I tried to sprout the quinoa. So that was like a disaster. That did not go well. But I'm glad that this turned out really great. So.
Exactly. And I tell you what, I commend you because she did better than me. You know, she got 3 done, and I was easily 2.
Oh, but you turned out with the other 2.
I came with more, but at the same time, you know, she did very well. You know,
that was my first time. Yeah, really. Yeah. I'm not counting the other time at all.
You know, we forget about that, right?
Right. We just don't let that one go.
But again, it shows that with persistence, even though it failed for me, I still went ahead and did it again, and now we had something again that we could add to the process. So.
Right. You know, and the results are really quick. So really just takes a couple of days and just really remembering to wash them and
yes, exactly. So. And just make sure you visually look at them, make sure that they're not molding or anything like that, because that is key. And also, I forgot to say this on the last video, is that whenever you sort out your beans, especially, seeds also, just make sure you look for any gravels or stones because sometimes they can be, you know, in between it. So you don't want to be taking a chunk of, you know, mung beans and then put it in your mouth and then, you know, crunch down on the stone. You know, so I learned that from my mother. You know, because you know she always said.
I know that was my job when I was little. My mom would spread the beans out on the table, and I would have to also.
Absolutely, and go through
but it made sense.
It makes sense because it's not nice, you know, when it hits on your teeth because you can crack it. Yeah. So,
all right. Yes. Well, that was part 2. I'm gonna indulge in the salad. You have anything else for the people?
Oh, I'm just grateful, you know, that I can be here with Kiba and you know, just give something, you know, forward. You know, as the elder Baba Pearson always says, you know, pay it forward. So, you know, we're paying it forward today, you know, by giving, you know, information, you know, that can enhance our liberty. You know.
Ashay. Yeah. Right, well, give thanks. Until next time, you know, be sure you live well, be well, and always cultivate life. We will have the links to the recipes in the description. And also, if you have not yet, make sure you hit that subscribe button and follow us on Instagram and Facebook at Cultivate Life. All right? So until next time.
All right, peace and blessings.